Wondering how to master Java Spring Boot? Well, you're in the right place. It's a journey, a process that requires not just dedication, but also a clear roadmap. Today, we're going to break that down step by step, making it as simple as possible. First things first, a solid understanding of Java is necessary. It's the foundation upon which your Spring Boot knowledge will be built. So, if you're not already familiar with Java, start there. Understand the basics: variables, data types, operators, control statements, loops, and functions. From there, move on to more advanced topics like object-oriented programming, exception handling, and multi-threading. After you've mastered Java, it's time to dive into Spring Framework. This is where things start to get interesting. You'll learn about inversion of control and dependency injection, two core principles that Spring Framework revolves around. Then you'll move on to Spring MVC, which will teach you how to create web applications. Next comes Hibernate, a Java framework that simplifies the development of Java application to interact with the database. It's an essential tool in your Spring Boot arsenal. With those skills under your belt, you're ready to tackle Spring Boot. It's a framework designed to simplify the setup of Spring applications. You'll begin by understanding its architecture and how it works. Then, you'll move on to creating your first Spring Boot application. From there, you'll learn about Spring Boot's auto-configuration feature and how it makes Spring setup so simple. Finally, you'll delve into Spring Boot's microservices. These are small, independent processes that communicate with each other to form a complex application. They're a key part of modern application development and a critical skill for any Spring Boot developer. In essence, the Java Spring Boot Learning Roadmap is a journey from Java basics to Spring Boot microservices. It's a path that requires dedication, but with the right roadmap, it's a path that anyone can travel. Now, let's end with a quick summary of the key points. First, master Java, then learn Spring Framework and Hibernate. Finally, dive into Spring Boot, starting with its architecture and working your way up to microservices. And as a bonus, here are 5 Spring Boot interview questions that often come up. 1. Can you explain Spring Boot's auto-configuration? 2. How do you create a Spring Boot application? 3. What are Spring Boot microservices? 4. Can you explain the use of Hibernate in Spring Boot? And 5. How does Spring Boot simplify the setup of Spring applications? Remember, the journey to mastering Spring Boot is a marathon, not a sprint. But with the right roadmap, you're well on your way. Happy coding!